high above the glittering chaos of Los Angeles, where downtown lights kiss the ocean horizon, one penthouse towers above the rest. Inside, velvet drapes, designer chandeliers, a wine fridge that hums softly beside Miele appliances, and a walk-in closet that could rival a Hollywood set. This is where Christina Aguilera lives, not just the pop icon, but the mother, the mogul, the mystery. What does life look like behind those mirrored doors? Today, we step into her world, from her $7 million sky-high penthouse to her pink Beverly Hills mansion, from the roar of her Ferrari to the silence of philanthropy. And somewhere in between is the woman they call Ex-Tina. Before she was a pop icon, before the world called her Ex-Tina, she was just a little girl with a voice too big for the living room. Christina Maria Aguilera was born on December 18, 1980, in Staten Island, New York, the daughter of a strict military father and a violinist mother. But the harmony didn't last long. Her childhood was filled with movement, and not the joyful kind. Her father's military postings meant constant relocation, from New York to Texas, even as far as Sagamihara, Japan. But no matter where she went, the tension inside the house never seemed to fade. Christina would later speak openly about those early years, years marked by emotional and physical abuse. And from that pain, something miraculous bloomed. She found solace in song. When her parents divorced in 1987, Christina moved with her mother and sister to Rochester, Pennsylvania, into her grandmother's home. It was there, among dusty vinyls and old soul records, that she first discovered Etta James, Aretha Franklin, and the power of a voice to cut through silence. By age 9, the neighborhood already knew her as the little girl with the big voice. She entered local talent shows, radio competitions, and soon made her way to national television, Star Search. She didn't win, but she didn't need to. All she needed was one moment to be heard. From there, she sang national anthems for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Steelers, and Pirates, her voice echoing in stadiums long before it echoed through speakers worldwide. But the real magic happened in 1998. With just one note, she captured hearts as she sang Reflection for Disney's Mulan. That song became a career-launching missile. RCA Records signed her almost immediately. Then came the moment that changed everything. Genie in a Bottle. Released in 1999, it didn't just top the Billboard Hot 100, it made her a global sensation. That same year, her debut album, Christina Aguilera, landed at #1 on the Billboard 200, eventually selling over 17 million copies worldwide. Suddenly, she was on top of the world. But inside, she was conflicted. The world saw a polished pop princess. She felt like a prisoner in her own image. So in one bold move, she took control. She fired her manager. She took the reins. And then, she transformed. Her 2001 collaboration on Lady Marmalade with Pink, Maya, and Lil' Kim wasn't just a hit. It was a declaration. The Christina Aguilera of the past was gone, and in 2002, she made it official. With the album Stripped, Christina introduced the world to Ex-Tina, fierce, unapologetic, raw. She dyed her hair jet black, flaunted piercings and tattoos, and delivered anthems like Dirty, Fighter, and the unforgettable Beautiful. It was risky, it was rebellious, and it paid off. The world saw a woman who wasn't afraid to be complicated, to be messy, to be honest. She wasn't trying to be perfect. She was trying to be real. Then, in 2006, she flipped the script again. With Back to Basics, she brought back the glamour of old Hollywood, channeling Marilyn Monroe and Billie Holiday. She called herself Baby Jane and gave the world a visual and sonic masterpiece. That tour alone brought in over $48 million in ticket sales. But Christina wasn't done reinventing herself. Albums like Bionic, Lotus, and Liberation followed, each offering a new side of her artistry. Critics didn't always understand her direction, but fans stayed loyal, knowing that behind every note was a story only she could sing. And through it all, she evolved, not just as an artist, but as a mentor, a mother, and a voice for those who felt voiceless. She conquered stages. She mentored rising stars on The Voice. She headlined Vegas residencies. She earned 5 Grammy Awards, and more than any of that, she earned her freedom. But what does freedom look like when you finally have it? For Christina Aguilera, it looks like a penthouse in the sky, with a view that stretches as far as her voice once did. Penthouse in Los Angeles. 46 stories above the pulse of downtown Los Angeles, far from the paparazzi, the red carpets, and the noise of the industry, lies a sanctuary in the clouds. This isn't just any penthouse. This is where Christina Aguilera begins her mornings and ends her nights, suspended between city lights and ocean breezes, in a space that reflects not only her status, but her soul. Valued at nearly $7 million, the penthouse crowns the iconic W Residences, a modern tower of glass, steel, and high-end glamour. But inside, Christina has curated something far more personal. Step in, and the first thing you notice isn't the skyline. It's the silence. The doors close behind you with a hush, and suddenly you're in a world of muted tones, rich textures, and hidden luxury. The air is cool, thanks to not 1 but 3 independent climate control systems. Christina doesn't just control her music, she controls her environment. To the left, a wine fridge by Miele glows softly behind glass. It's not just stocked, it's curated. Vintage reds, fine whites, bottles gifted from tour stops around the world. It's a quiet tribute to the journey that got her here. The kitchen itself is sleek, minimal, and deeply functional. Top-tier Miele appliances line the cabinetry, the kind of space where meals are made, not just catered. Christina has said she loves to cook for her daughter Summer Rain here. Simple, comforting dishes, while the city shimmers just beyond the glass. But the true magic begins when the motorized shades rise with a whisper. Suddenly, Los Angeles unfolds before you. To the west, the Pacific Ocean. On clear days, you can see Catalina Island resting quietly on the horizon. To the east, the towers of downtown flicker like a modern-day Gotham. And above it all, the California sky, open, endless, and blue. The living room is wide and flowing, with custom lighting and low-slung furniture in plush neutrals. Here, Christina writes lyrics in notebooks, listens to demos, or sips wine with friends under the golden glow of designer chandeliers. One corner houses a private office/studio where creativity takes shape without cameras watching. She's known to shut the door and disappear for hours, emerging with ideas, concepts, even melodies scribbled in cursive on yellow legal pads. But let's talk about the master suite. It's more than a bedroom. It's a retreat. Dual walk-in closets, one for her, one for him. Though his is often used for stagewear, costumes, and vintage coats she just can't part with. Velvet benches, full-length mirrors, an island in the center with velvet-lined drawers holding jewelry that once sparkled under Vegas lights. Some pieces are loud, some are quiet. All of them, pure Christina. The bathroom is spa-like, with backlit marble, rainfall shower, and a soaking tub positioned just so, facing the view. She's said this is where she comes to decompress after long days. Bubbles in the glass and in the bath. And of course, no penthouse is complete without amenities, and the W Residences delivers. As a resident, Christina enjoys rooftop pools with private cabanas, an 8,000-square-foot fitness center, private lounges, round-the-clock concierge, and 24/7 security. But for her, luxury isn't just access. It's privacy. This penthouse isn't about showing off. It's about stepping back. It's about being able to breathe, create, and be, without judgment, without noise. Friends say Christina often hosts intimate gatherings here. Just a few close friends, some vinyl on the record player, candles lit. Her daughter in pajamas curled up with a book. A far cry from the world tours and flashing bulbs. Because this space, this glass and stone and sky, isn't just a place to live. It's a reflection of everything she's fought for. Her freedom, her peace, her voice. If Christina Aguilera's penthouse is her sky-high sanctuary, then her Beverly Hills estate is her unapologetic alter ego. Mansion in Beverly Hills. Welcome to 513 Doheny Road, a Mediterranean-style mansion drenched in shades of red, pink, lavender, and everything in between. A home that doesn't whisper elegance. It sings it, out loud, in full vibrato, like only Xtina could. Valued at $13.5 million, this estate sprawls across over 9,600 square feet of unfiltered personality. From the moment you pass the ivy-draped entrance and cross through its ornate red doors, one thing becomes clear. This is not a house for just anyone. This is a house built for someone who's lived 1,000 lives, on and off the stage. Step inside. The foyer greets you with a blood-red chandelier dripping from the ceiling, almost as if Christina herself is blowing a kiss from above. It casts ruby shadows across the walls, bouncing off mirrored panels and velvet textures. To your right, a sunken living room with oversized sofas in pink suede. Animal print rugs add a touch of wildness underfoot, while metallic side tables shimmer like trophies in the dark. And then there's the dining room. Somewhere between Gothic and boudoir, the space features high-backed chairs, draped curtains, and candlelight flickering against vintage wallpaper. You can almost picture Christina here, glass in hand, laughter echoing, red lipstick leaving a mark on the rim. But the house is more than glamour. It's also about play. She's built a home theater where she watches movies with her children, popcorn in hand, makeup off. There's a gift-wrapping room, yes, really, a beauty salon where her glam squad preps her for the Met Gala or a night on The Voice, and a game room warmed by a roaring fireplace and lined with plush seating. In the recording studio tucked behind the guest house, Christina records vocals that reach millions. But start here, in silence, surrounded by lavender walls and candlelight. Even the bedrooms are more than bedrooms. They're moods. Each one is uniquely styled. One in bubblegum pink with circular ottomans and mirrored vanities, another in soft lilac with custom lighting that changes hue depending on her mood. She once called her dressing area a temple to transformation. And it shows. Let's step outside. The backyard feels like a pop goddess's private playground. A resort-style pool anchors the space, complete with a stone grotto spa and a twisting water slide that Christina insists isn't just for kids. Lush landscaping surrounds private paths, hidden seating areas, and even a small meditation pavilion, where she often journals or simply breathes. And when it's time to entertain, the estate transforms into a red and pink lit dreamscape. Live music, themed dinner parties, soft jazz by the pool. It's not just a house, it's a stage. But unlike her performances, there's no audience here, no spotlights, just Christina. Friends have said the house is like walking into her brain, wild, sensual, and deeply curated. Every fabric chosen, every color intentional. It's maximalist, it's dramatic, it's intimate. It's Christina Aguilera. And when it's time to leave either home, whether descending from the penthouse or gliding out the gates of Beverly Hills, she doesn't just step out quietly. She makes an entrance. On 4 wheels. Some wear their identity on their sleeve. Christina Aguilera wears hers on wheels. Every car in her collection isn't just a machine. It's a mood, a moment, a memory. Each one says something about who she is, where she's been, and how fast she's willing to go to get there. Let's ride. cars. Ferrari, California. This isn't just a car, it's a declaration. Sleek, red, and unapologetically sexy, the Ferrari California is the one she takes when she wants to feel alive. She was first spotted in it leaving a recording session in Hollywood, windows down, platinum hair catching the wind like a banner of freedom. It's fast, it's bold, it's Christina, and much like her voice, it purrs until it roars. Porsche 911. Targa. A blend of vintage soul and modern muscle, the 911 Targa suits Christina's more refined, nostalgic side. She once called it her drive alone and sing car. The Targa top lets her feel the California sky, while the control behind the wheel gives her that same artistic command she's known for in the studio. It's not about being seen, it's about feeling everything. Range Rover Vogue. Every powerhouse mom needs a powerhouse ride. The Range Rover Vogue is what she uses for daily life, school runs, studio meetings, and those LA hills that demand both luxury and toughness. It's understated compared to her Ferrari, but just as confident. Inside, leather seats cradle her daughter, Summer Rain, while the console plays Christina's own tracks, sometimes unfinished demos, sometimes lullabies. A reminder that even icons have grocery days. Tesla Model X. The future looks electric, and Christina is already there. Her Tesla Model X, with its falcon wing doors and whisper-quiet acceleration, is both eco-conscious and futuristic. It's the car she uses when she wants to move without being noticed, glide through the city without leaving a footprint. For Christina, this isn't just a car. It's a statement of responsibility. She calls it her reset ride, the one she takes on those rare solo drives to clear her head. Ford Mustang, classic. Then there's this, a vintage Ford Mustang, restored in black with red leather interiors. She gifted it to herself after the Back to Basics tour wrapped, saying she needed a piece of the past that still moves forward. It sits in her Beverly Hills garage like a piece of art. But yes, she drives it. Slowly, carefully, often on Sundays. It's not about speed, it's about soul. A reminder that even as the years go by, some things, like good music and classic cars, only get better. These aren't cars parked for show. They're companions to her rhythm, expressions of her identity. And like every great Christina song, each one carries both power and vulnerability. But even the finest cars pale in comparison to what drives Christina at her core. Because beyond the wheel, beyond the fame, there's a woman who has built a fortune not just from her voice, but from the choices she's made along the way. She once sang, "I am beautiful no matter what they say." But beauty isn't the only thing Christina Aguilera owns. As of 2025, her net worth is estimated at $160 million. It's a number built not just on album sales and Grammy wins, but on decades of reinvention. Each era, each evolution, each risk adding another layer to her empire. At her peak on The Voice, she was earning an eye-popping $15 million per season, making her one of the highest-paid judges in reality television history. From the platinum records to the perfume lines, from Vegas residencies to brand endorsements, Christina didn't just perform, she built. Silently, strategically, powerfully. And the result? A life lived above the clouds, in penthouses, in pink mansions, and behind the wheel of her own destiny. But Christina's legacy isn't measured only in millions. It's also in the hearts she's helped heal, and the lives she's quietly changed. Because when you've walked through fire and survived, you don't just rise. You reach back. Philanthropy. Long before the world called her Xtina, Christina Aguilera knew what it meant to feel powerless. And maybe that's why, even at the height of her fame, she never forgot those who felt the same. It started quietly, far from the cameras. In 2003, Christina visited the Greater Pittsburgh Women's Center and Shelter, where she donated over $200,000 to help survivors of domestic abuse, women whose stories echoed her own childhood memories. She didn't hold a press conference. She just showed up, with money, support, and heart. Then, she went further. She partnered with Lifetime Network for national campaigns against violence toward women. In 2015, she joined Verizon in launching a program to raise awareness and resources for domestic abuse victims. When she began her Las Vegas residency, The Experience, she donated portions of her earnings to the Shade Tree, a shelter for women and children in Nevada. And for her relentless commitment, she was honored with the Bonnie Polly Community Hero Award. But Christina's compassion didn't stop at domestic borders. In 2009, she became a global ambassador for the United Nations World Food Program. She traveled to Ecuador, Guatemala, Haiti, and Rwanda, not as a celebrity, but as a mother and a humanitarian. She met children face to face, shared meals, heard their stories. And by 2013, her efforts had helped raise over $148 million to fight hunger in 45 countries. She was awarded the Muhammad Ali Humanitarian Award and the George McGovern Leadership Award, which she accepted at the White House, personally presented by Secretary Hillary Clinton. But the giving didn't stop there. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, she donated her wedding gifts to support affected families. In 2010, after the Haiti earthquake, she auctioned off her Chrysler 300, with all proceeds going to victims and their families. She also appeared on Hope for Haiti Now, alongside other stars, raising funds for Oxfam, UNICEF, and the Red Cross. And when the Orlando nightclub shooting devastated the LGBTQ+ community in 2016, she responded with a song, Change, a ballad of loss, of hope, of resilience. All proceeds went to support survivors and victims' families. Christina has long stood as an LGBTQ+ ally, using her voice to fight stigma surrounding HIV/AIDS, supporting the Elton John AIDS Foundation, and even blessing a same-sex proposal backstage in Russia, despite the country's strict anti-gay propaganda laws. In her own words, "Why spend energy trying to stop people from loving each other? I will never understand that." She has also supported PETA, signing open letters calling for an end to the dog and cat meat trade in South Korea, and proudly wore faux fur during her liberation tour to send a message. No spotlight, no filter, just conviction. And if you ask Christina why she gives, she'll tell you it's because she remembers. Remembers what it was like to feel small. Remembers what it meant to be saved by a song. And now, she wants to be that song for someone else. But while her heart is full of generosity, Christina's mind has always been sharp, because when she's not singing, she's building. And behind every note and every headline, there's a businesswoman who plays a long game. Business. She's known for her voice. But Christina Aguilera's smartest moves often happen when she's not singing at all. Over the years, Christina has quietly built a business empire, layer by layer, risk by risk, brand by brand. Not with press releases, but with precision. It started in 2008 when she co-founded LAX, a nightlife hotspot in Las Vegas, alongside DJAM. It was edgy, high energy, and dripping in chrome, just like her Stripped era. But it wasn't just about cocktails. It was about control. She was learning what it meant to invest, to co-own, to move the money before the music stopped. Then came a bolder step. In 2015, she and her fiancé, Matthew Rutler, launched MX Productions and Investments, a venture studio with ambitions beyond entertainment. With that move, Christina didn't just enter the boardroom. She claimed a seat at the table. Together, they became early investors in companies that now shape culture: Pinterest, Lyft, DraftKings, Masterclass. Behind the glam, she was thinking long-term. Behind the lashes, spreadsheets. Then came the world of sports. Christina joined the ownership group of Angel City FC, an all-women's soccer team that's rewriting the rules of American sports culture. A team founded by women, funded by women, for women. And yes, Christina was there from the ground floor. But perhaps nothing showcases her entrepreneurial power more than fragrance. Since launching Christina Aguilera fragrances with Procter & Gamble, her perfumes have become global bestsellers across Europe, Asia, Latin America, and beyond. By 2016, her fragrance line had earned over $80 million, not just because of scent, but because of story. Every bottle was an extension of her identity. Every campaign, a whisper of empowerment. And fans followed. Fashion? She touched that too. Launching a clothing line in Brazil through C&A. Greeting cards? She turned them into digital art with American greetings, even earning a Clio Award in 2021. There were also collaborations with giants, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Versace, Mercedes-Benz, and Virgin Mobile. Deals that paid millions, not just for her image, but for her imagination. And all of it, intentional. Christina doesn't just endorse, she curates. She doesn't chase trends, she anticipates them. And most of all, she never stops owning what's hers. But when the cameras go dark and the meetings end, Christina retreats to her favorite role. Not the boss, not the diva, but the mother. Personal life. For most of the world, Christina Aguilera is a force, a voice that shakes arenas, a name that headlines Vegas, a woman who walks like she owns the room. But at home, she walks barefoot. The high heels come off. The stage lights dim. And what's left is something far more powerful: peace. These days, Christina shares her life with her longtime fiancé, Matthew Rutler, the man she met while filming Burlesque in 2010. What began as a working connection became a slow-burn romance, built not on headlines but on trust. In 2014, they got engaged. Later that year, they welcomed their daughter, Summer Rain, a name that, in Christina's words, reflects purity, growth, and light after a storm. Christina is a hands-on mom, not the type who lets nannies raise her child behind closed doors. She takes Summer to dance classes, helps with homework, and makes pancakes in her Beverly Hills kitchen while humming unfinished melodies. They do meditation together, paint together. Sometimes they just sit on the penthouse balcony, counting clouds. There's also her son Max, from her previous marriage, who spends time between homes. Christina has worked hard to maintain peace, to create a blended family that feels whole and loving. She's even said in interviews that motherhood saved her, grounding her in a way that fame never could. At home, Christina journals. She paints. She rereads Rumi. Some mornings, she's up at 6 a.m. doing yoga. Other days, she's wrapped in silk robes till noon, writing lyrics at the kitchen island with coffee in hand, and Summer's drawings stuck to the fridge. She's open about her struggles with anxiety and depression, about the battles she's fought internally long after the applause faded. But today, she lives slower, softer, stronger. She doesn't need a red carpet to feel seen anymore. And perhaps the most beautiful part? She's found someone to love, not just her power, but her stillness. And when all is quiet, when there are no cameras, no contracts, no curtain calls, Christina Aguilera sits beneath her pink chandelier and smiles, because she knows exactly who she is. When the world first heard Christina Aguilera, she was barely more than a teenager, singing with the force of someone who had already lived 1,000 lives. Now, decades later, she has. She's stood on the world's biggest stages, held golden statues in her hands, fought for her voice in boardrooms and battled demons no spotlight could ever reveal. But through it all, through the fame, the reinventions, the pink mansions and platinum plaques, she's come home to something deeper. Peace, purpose, and above all, love. Christina Aguilera is more than a diva. She's a builder, a mother, a fighter, and a woman who chose, again and again, to rise on her own terms. From the panoramic penthouse in Los Angeles to the glowing hills of Beverly Hills, from the engine of a Ferrari to the silence of a Sunday morning with her daughter, her life tells a story. Not of perfection, but of power earned quietly, luxuriously, and honestly. And now, we ask you, which part of Christina's world moved you most? Was it the skyline views, the soulful cars, the business brilliance, or the mother who still sings lullabies? Let us know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe for more lives lived boldly. And remember, true power doesn't always scream. Sometimes it sings